Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. And how do you do? Good morning. Good morning. And good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm excited because the day is my mommy's birthday. May she rest in the arms of the Creator. Happy birthday, Mommy. I love you. I love you, my mommy. And if it wasn't for the Creator God, I wouldn't be alive today. And if it wasn't for your prayers, Mama, He answered them. And I'm here today to acknowledge you, my mother, Helen Lamar Jones Hall Taylor, on her birthday. I'm so glad my mama prayed for me. And I'm so glad that He woke me up this morning on your birthday. Yes, March the 23rd. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, and how do you do? Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, and I love you. Woo-hoo. I love you, Lord, and I love my mama. Thank you for waking us up this morning, because if you're tuning in right now, yes, this is Edwina B. Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, but I don't care. God loves me, accepts me just the way I am, and so do I. I'm going to hold back these tears this morning because I have a lot to say about my mother, and I have a lot to share about my mother, and I have a lot of love for my mother. Helen Lamar Jones Hall Taylor, born March the 23rd, 1935. To God be the glory. All right, so I started early. I got to listen to my girl, Ambassador Tamika Strickland. Being grateful, attitude of gratitude. Oh my God. Oh, I just can't. I said I wasn't going to cry. I just can't. But maybe y'all can see how much gratitude I have. Woo! For my Creator in the midst of it all. I'm so glad I listened to Donald Lawrence. We are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. We are a spiritual being walking, living, encased in this physical and natural journey called life. I'm so glad for Alcoholics Anonymous, the spiritual fellowship that offered me spiritual principles, spiritual steps, spiritual traditions, spiritual concepts, all for me to have a spiritual experience that will create a spiritual awakening, causing a spiritual transformation with increased spiritual wisdom in order to get that psychic change. To God be all the glory. All right, so I want to just pause for 1 second. And I want to say happy, 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 happy return day to my friend, Dr. Terrence Newton of Warner Elementary School. These are happy, happy words in spite of the circumstances by which he was called home. And I know the first thing God said was, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, my faithful servant. Dr. Terrence Newton, did you hear me? Dr. Terrence Newton. From drug dealer to doctor of education. God prepared him to be one of the most influential pillars in our community, mainly for the children. He impacted the children so much, so well, that God said, guess what? I got some more to do with your spirit. He may have taken away, life may have taken away the vehicle, but God has the spirit, and the spirit of Dr. Terrence Newton lives on in the world. Oh, his story, his documentary, I already done claimed it. It's already written. And I reach out to my son, Dr. Dwight Kenneth Dockery II. Yes, him and Dr. Newton, the two doctors at Kingswood Academy, touched the lives of teenage boys and girls who were going the wrong way, but for some reason or another, God paired them together to make a difference. My son, Dr. Dwight Kenneth Dockery II, is still there, making an impact. Dr. Terrence Newton used that as a bridge to go into and become the principal of Warner Elementary School. So yes, I am not going to cry tears of sadness. If anything, I'm going to cry tears of joy. Why? Because I understand just a little bit more about the transition from here to heaven. And so I glorify my God. To God be the glory. You have other plans for him, and I'm so glad. He will have an opportunity to pass the torch here in the state of Delaware, particularly in the city of Wilmington, and his name will be on that school, Dr. Terrence Newton Elementary School. Yes, yes, yes. So, listen, I love you, Lord. Guess what? You loved him more because you brought him home for his next spiritual assignment. All right? Love you, Newt. From drug dealer to doctor. Me, from a prostitute, getting my doctorate. From an alcoholic, obtaining my doctorate, right? From a crackhead, drug addict, obtaining my doctorate. Yes. So you never know the journey that one goes through in order to be prepared for things yet to come. We are born to serve, and serve him we will, one way or another. So I wanted to say that on behalf of Dr. Terrence Newton. Newt, go ahead, home. I love you, boo-boo. Listen, I'm celebrating already for you. Listen, it's a celebration. It's a celebration when God says, come forth, my son. I got other plans for you. We should rejoice and be happy. I can't wait. I can't wait. When it's time for me to go, I want y'all to have the same kind of feeling and say the same kind of words, because guess what? I'm doing what he has prepared me to do while on earth. And when that job is done, he's going to call me home for the next spiritual assignment. All right? So let me play my spiritual song dedicated to my mother. And I do have on her outfit. I believe it's the same outfit in this picture up there. I'm almost sure it is. And so what? Not a coincidence. But guess what? When you yield to the Spirit, things happen. So I want to play a couple of songs in dedication to my mother. First, I want to tell you a little bit about my mother through this song. She's a woman of integrity, a woman with a heart of God, beauty in and out. Mama, 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 mama. Always ready, mama. Nkuria obiajuru, mama. Mama. Mama, mama, mama. Always ready, mama. Always ready for the things of God. She is full of passion. She's a vessel of honor, so anointed. God, they use her, they go. She is full of passion. She's a vessel of honor, so anointed. God, they use her, they go. Unique mama, unique mama, exceptional for you, unique mama. Asambeta chalukomo, unique mama, unique mama, exceptional for you, unique mama. Asambeta chalukomo. Happy birthday, oh, Reverend Dr. Lizzie, oh. We wish you many more. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh. Happy birthday, oh, Reverend Dr. Lizzie, oh. We wish you many more. Oh yeah. Amazing it's the feeling when I think of your mother. Gosh, here they go. She's so full of love and have the fear of God. Here they go. She can never fail because God not the fail. She they go. Yeah, she cannot fail because God cannot fail. For her to fail, God has to fail. Since God cannot fail, don't expect her to fail. What's that her sweet name again? L-I-C-C-Y, 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 L-I-C-C-Y. Oh yeah, tell me about her. Fine girl, sweet mama, good cook, good wife, prayer warrior, backbone. Happy birthday, oh, Reverend Dr. Lizzie, oh. We wish you many more. Oh yeah, oh. Happy birthday, oh, Reverend Dr. Lizzie, oh. We wish you many more. Oh yeah, fine girl, good cook, good wife, fine girl, sweet mama, good cook, good wife, prayer warrior, backbone. Mama, you too fine, Joe. Dark on the beat. Woo! Happy birthday, Mama. Oh, let's stop that. Oh my God. That was for my mama. Woo, Lord. I don't care. Happy birthday, my mama. Now, I got that energy out. Let's hear another one. All right. I'm celebrating my mother's birthday today. Here we go. Real quick, okay? All right. Here we go. Y'all sing along with me. It's the day that you were born. It's the day your mama brought you home. It's a special day. Let's celebrate. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'm gonna celebrate with you. And you celebrate. Tell everybody. Come on, y'all. I wanna celebrate on your birthday. Come on, y'all. Hey. Woo! Yes, happy birthday, my mother. Yes, now that I got all that out, let me share with you a little bit more about my mother. And since this is her birthday, I'm going to talk about all the great things God prepared her to do. The greatest thing is that He chose me. I don't know about the other ones. I don't know how they feel. But God chose me to come through my mother. So that was a great thing. My mother always said, girl, Edwina, I'm so glad I only had one of you. I wonder why she said that. Because there is only one of me, and there is only one of Helen Lamar Jones Hall Taylor. No matter what the circumstances were for her to be born on March the 23rd of 1935, through her mother, Beatrice, and helped raised by Helen Crawford. Obviously, that's where she got her name from, only to be given to Ruby Lamar. So no matter what the circumstances, all of that evolved for me to be here with you today. So that was a great thing, no matter what the circumstances. And I am so proud of my mother. Do you hear me? I did not understand as a child. I did not understand as a young adult. I did not understand as a woman the depths of my mother's love. Couldn't understand it. But I understand it now, and I can smile with tears of joy, although I'm not going to cry. I understand now. Why? Because of the 12 spiritual principles given to me on February the 23rd of 1990, my first day of sobriety. And even though God had His plans, my mother stayed prayerfully about me. He answered my mama's prayers, so much so that out of her 6 children, He chose me. He prepared me to give my mother back and even more of what she gave us. But she planted the seed that was given to her by God. I didn't think I had any of my mother's characteristics, but I find out that I have them all. And I'm so grateful that I do. My mother was subjected to a lot of things, but somewhere, somehow, she found Jesus. Yes, she did. And when she did, her life was never the same. Even though she walked, ran, crawled on this journey called earth, when she found Jesus, her life changed forever. Unbeknownst to her, He answered her prayers, not in her time, but in His time. And she is rewarded. Yes. I know my mother is happy. I know my mother is singing praise. I know my mother is giving God glory and worship because she did it here on earth in preparation to going home. Oh, what a beautiful mother I have. She is still with me in my heart. She is a part of my spirit. And I love my mother. I love my mother. She is a great woman. Why do I say that? Because I myself have went through my own journey, just like my mother. I had my knee-bowing experience, just like my mother. I cried out to a God I didn't know, just like my mother. But somewhere, somehow, like my mother, we cried out, help me, help me, help me. He helped my mother, and because he helped my mother, he helped me. Woo! All I can say is my mother had 2 areas of her life that was joyous in the midst of all the turbulence. The birth of her 6 children, which she affectionately called her doll babies. From the time she was 15 to the time she was 22, she had 6 doll babies. My mother cherished her children. She believed in keeping them all together, and she did. My mother did the best that she could do, no matter what. She put her children before her own needs. She demonstrated God's unconditional love. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And I just want to say that as a result, her children was one of her most precious gifts from God. The next one was Arthur Bernard Taylor Jr. That's right. Wasn't my daddy. Was my daddy in the beginning because, whatever, infatuation, Eddie, my love, and she loved her some Eddie. But at one point, she told God, ask God, take him out my heart. I'll get him out my mind for a reason. And then God showed her a godly man, Arthur Bernard Taylor Jr. And for the next 40 years, my mother lived blissfully in happiness, peace, joy, in the midst of, doesn't matter. She was happy with her husband, Arthur Bernard Taylor Jr. On her wedding day at that church where Pastor Walls, Reverend Walls, Clarence Walls, married them too. I remember that twinkle in her eye. My mother was, I'm not going to cry. My mother was so happy. And she was given a godly man. One of y'all always asked, said, Weena, why you dress so nice? Said, Weena, why you dress so? My mother. Because of my mother. She sacrificed her life as a teenage mother until she met Arthur Bernard Taylor Jr., who was an entertainer, a gospel singer. And that means he went to a lot of churches. And guess who went with him? My mother. And him and her dressed alike, color coordinated. Shucks, my mother would go to the store. I said, Mom, pick what you want. She said, huh? I said, Mama, pick what you want. Mama, pick what you want. She said, okay, I want this. I want that. I want this. I want that. Get it. Get it. Mother, where do you want to go? Huh? Where do you want to go? Florida? California? Colorado? Huh? Let's go. Don't even pack your bags. Let's go. Want to go on a cruise? Wheelchair? Take the wheelchair. Bed? Take the bed. I don't care. Toilet? Take it. Let's go, mama. Let's go. So for 40 years, Arthur Bernard Taylor Jr. made my mom so happy and was with her until the day she transitioned. Not before they renewed their vows on their 40th anniversary right across the street from me. Yes, wheelchair and all. And she was a beautiful sight to behold. So, Mother, yes, happy birthday. I love you. Okay, now that is done, let me share with you all, right, what we have for you today. Y'all know that I share a part of my journal with you as a incentive for you all to keep a journal. And that's what I would like y'all to do. Start keeping a journal, all right? And I've been sharing with you parts of my journal because of its importance and how I just cry sometimes because, I just can't believe all this that is going on, okay? So let me find out what page I was on. All right, so here we go. Listen, okay? Here's my journal, all right? All right, so I wrote this on Saturday, October the 24th, 1994 at 2:29 p.m., okay? This is my journal now, okay? As it was written, all right? So this is where I was mentally, spiritually, physically in Williamsport, Pennsylvania in a transitional house with women. Saturday, October the 24th, 1992. And I labeled that particular entry. Let me find it. October, it says fear of commitment, flesh versus spirit. Ooh, I wonder what that's about. Let's go see. Good afternoon, my Heavenly Father. Thank you, Lord, for giving me a new day once again. Lord, I am sitting here in a room to which I come to be rejuvenated by thy will and by thy grace, and to ask thee to help me redirect my attitude, my behavior, and my faith toward thee. Lord, it has been 11 months and 3 days since the death of my husband, and I am feeling a lot of things during this time as I reflect back over that period of time. On one side of the coin, I am truly amazed and at awe at the way thou have kept me and provided for me. For the way you have revealed things to me, things that have increased my faith and my trust in you. The opportunity to share with other Christians and with other alcoholics and addicts has been more than overwhelming. Just the very way thou hast wakened me up and has provided all of my needs. For this, I'm truly blessed. But God, you have touched me even more where it really counts, in the spiritual realm. I have learned to seek thee in the midst of sorrow and joy, and each case it was by thy grace that I have come this far on my spiritual journey. When in doubt and in fear, I revealed them to thee in prayer, conversations, and writing. And you, Lord, have made ways out of no way. You have turned my fears and doubts into faith and trust. You have proven to me more and more the deliverance from darkness and into the light. You have made known to me that you are with me and will never, ever leave me. And Lord, that is the most amazing feeling I have, especially now, which brings me to the other side of the coin. Because I know that you are always available, I need to once again ask for help in the areas that still hinder my spiritual growth. And Lord, I pray that the Holy Spirit convicts me even more into doing the right thing. Lord, I have a great fear that goes deep, real deep. It is the fear of total commitment to thee and thy will. I know that fear exists because in some areas of my life, I still want to be in control. And I ask myself, in control of what? I still had that manipulative and seductive behavior that gives me a high for the moment, but which also keeps me spiritually sick. Lord, there is still that need in me to conquer, and I'm back asking myself, conquer what? Why do I feel the need to be accepted in the flesh? Why do I fear being rejected and abandoned by others if I don't feed them with the flesh? Then I realize sometimes that it is the spirit of Satan in me and in them that allows the feeling and the act of submission to take place. And Lord, why is it that I seek those that are unavailable for me? It seems that need to conquer and subdue is more prevalent than other situations. And the act of this type of situation is more intense. But then I realized it is a useless battle, but I still forge ahead. Why? And this is where that commitment comes into play again. I fear commitment, and in turn, I see that very few are committed when it comes to the flesh. But I realize this is an area that only thee can help me with, and I need to make a conscious and sincere effort to change. You see, Lord, as I look back just over the last few months, I have put more effort into doing the wrong thing instead of the right thing. And it has made me feel distance to thee, but yet the Holy Spirit continues to talk to me and I ignore it. Help me, Lord, help me. Lord, I ask you on a daily basis to mold me and shape me into thy image. I ask that thou continue to put me on the road to righteousness. I ask thee to let me touch and be touched by another sick and suffering soul. And I ask to make me thou servant to be used to share the works of the Lord. And Lord, in some areas of my life, my prayers are being answered and I am useful to thee. But I don't feel that I am totally useful to thee until I get better with the dark side of my attitude and behavior. For God, it is darkness, total darkness. Lord, you have shown me what unconditional love is through the fellowship and through my fellow Christians. Why is it on a personal level that I can't love myself unconditionally and others as well? That's my journal. That's my journal that I wrote the first 4 years in recovery off and on because the enemy was trying to keep me from going forward and wanted me to go back. Didn't know what was ahead of me, but the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, all the 12 spiritual principles can apply to any and all areas of our lives. I thank God. underneath that parked car 32 plus years ago, I had my knee bowing experience. And like that, I said, I cried out, whoever they say you are, take me out this life or show me a better way. In essence, help me. Help me. And I could feel my mother saying this to God when she was going through it. Lord, help me. And he did. And he did it for me too. All right. So let me give you a little bit about the step 6 that I've been sharing on my world tour, Free to Hope, From Recovery Emerge Empowered, to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. And step 6 says we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, so that he can prepare me to be his continued servant, just to touch one more soul. Yes. So enjoy a few minutes of this and we'll come back with the topic of the day. All right. It becomes in 3 if God, as you understand him or the force, if he, she, the force can remove all things in his time that prevents him from preparing and using you to help others, would you be entirely ready for it to happen? Some of you may say, well, some of these defects, they're my defense mechanism. Okay? God gave you some instincts to help you with that. And character defects, let me tell you what character defects are. Character defects are natural instincts that have far exceeded their purpose. He gave us the instincts for survival, for reproduction. He gave us the instincts for shelter. What we're talking about is those defects, those extra that have defected our character because we became too greedy. We wanted more than our share. So those natural instincts that far exceeded their purpose is all we're asking them to remove. Isn't that beautiful? That's all. Doesn't say I'm a bad person. Doesn't say I'm an evil person. I just need to get help with these 12 recovery principles to help me identify what happened to me. And with help, what I can do about it. So let's find out. So, are you entirely ready? I am. And I'm so glad I was. And I stay ready. Even though self-will comes in here and says, God, fellowship, I'll be right back. I'm going over here. I know I shouldn't, but I'm going over here. That's okay. You'll keep going. You'll keep doing those things until you become sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing the same thing over and over again. It is not getting you anywhere. Even when you know that there's a solution, the question becomes, do you want it? I wanted it. I still want it. So I'll remain entirely ready till the day I die. To have him, it, her, whatever you want to call it, remove anything that's going to prevent me to be prepared to be useful to him and to you. That's right. Don't you want to do the same thing? These recovery principles are not just for you. They're for you to help somebody else. That could be a stranger, somebody in your family, somebody at work. You want to be a service to other people. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I have some work to do. I have another assignment to get ready for in a few minutes. So I definitely want to get to the topic of the day. I will pick that up tomorrow. All right. So this is the information, right? That we get from Alcoholics Anonymous, right? And so I do not represent Alcoholics Anonymous. That's been in existence for close to 90 years. But I've been a grateful, humble, and happy member for 32 plus years, one day at a time. And it's because of this daily reflection. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Winner.
Yes, I'm on my podcast, but just pull up and blow the horn. I'll be right out.
I know the building. You're in that building, right?
Yes, I'm in that building on you want me to come get you? I'll come get you.
No, I'm already around the corner.
Okay, so I'm on 3 West Macaulay Court. So I'm between 11th and 12th, Lombard and Clifford Brown Walk. And when you come into the west side, I'm in like 1 o'clock in the corner. House number 3.
Real quick, please.
Huh?
Let me address real quick, please.
Okay.
All right, man.
Y'all hold on a second. You know, sometimes we got to pause, right? Sometimes we got to pause. All right, here we go. And I'm going to send him my address so we can go to Baltimore and do what we need to do. See what I mean? When you have to yield to the Spirit in order to get things done. Okay, so it's sent. All right, and now I can get back to the topic. All right, so here we go. So let's find out where we were. That's done. That's done. That's done. All right, here we go. All right, so y'all just hold on a second. I got a few more minutes. All right, and so let's go here. Let's go here. And let's go here. And let's go there. All right, and so when I go to my AA meetings, you know, we definitely focus on the daily reflections. And today's daily reflection says, and no more reservations. Oh, this is a great topic. I only have about 8 minutes before I jump out of this seat, right? And jump into a car and head to Baltimore to touch one more person out of 200. Me and my staff, Umar, Miguel, right? God has prepared all of us in recovery to let people know we do recover. And we stay sober, we stay clean in order to help another addict, alcoholic, achieve sobriety. That's what we do. And we love doing it. Okay, so let's read what it says for today, okay? Let's get there, all right? It says here, okay? Let's see, it says here, and no more reservations, right? All right, so let me move this to, it says, we have seen the truth again and again. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. If we are planning to stop drinking, there must be no reservations of any kind, nor any lurking notion that someday we will be immune to alcohol. To be gravely affected, one does not necessarily have to drink a long time, nor take the quantities some of us have. This is particularly true of women. Potential female alcoholics often turn into the real thing and are gone well beyond recall in just a few years. This is from AA Big Book, page 33. And the Alcoholic in Recovery writes, these words are underlined in my book. They are true for men and women alcoholics. On many occasions, I've turned to this page and reflected on this passage. I need never fool myself by recalling my sometimes differing drinking patterns or by believing I am cured. I like to think that if sobriety is God's gift to me, then my sober life is my gift to God. I hope God is as happy with his gift as I am with mine. All right. And so let's talk about that. You know, it says no reservations whatsoever. So when I think about what this is saying, I have to be reminded, right? When it says no reservations, right? Now, we ain't talking about making reservations at a restaurant and you cancel. We don't have no reservation for you. No, we ain't talking about that. We are talking about making a decision, right? Based on a moment of clarity, but somewhere, somehow in the back of our mind, and I don't know. Okay. Reservations. All right. And so it says here, we have seen the truth again and again. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. And people who think they understand the disease of alcoholism don't. Like I didn't, and like so many of us do. But those who've learned about the disease of alcoholism, we know that is a true statement. Once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. We use the analogy, right? A cucumber becomes a pickle. That pickle will never become a cucumber again. You got it? That's what we're talking about, but on a spiritual level, because it's applied to this physical and worldly journey that we're on. So if we are planning to stop drinking, there must be no reservation of any kind, nor any lurking notion that someday we will be immune to alcohol. With the disease of alcoholism, forget it. It's incurable on this physical plane or on this physical journey. It's incurable. And once we realize that, we can understand that we are allergic to alcohol, right? We are never cured of the disease of alcoholism. We only have a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. So to be gravely affected, one does not necessarily have to drink a long time, nor take the quantity some of us have. So it depends on, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Woo! Hold on, y'all. Here we come. Where you at? Where you at? Here I go, Miguel. Woo-hoo! Miguel. Stay right there. Stay there. Pull your window down. All right, so Miguel is outside. Miguel, pull your window down. I'll be right there. I'm doing my podcast. So I have Miguel outside right now, waiting to take me and to pick up Holmes to go and share our experience, strength, and hope with the next sick and suffering alcoholic. So if you think you could ever drink again, if you think you could ever smoke crack again, get it into your mind. Once an addict, always an addict, if you understand the disease. Huh? We're talking about a physical disease, a spiritual sickness. And what they said that no religion can help us, no doctor, no lawyer, nobody. What we need is divine intervention. And when we have that divine intervention, then and only then do we have a daily reprieve contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. So that's why they say, right? Once an addict, always an addict. And if you want to debate about that, that's on you, right? But the reality of it is, we who have the disease, we understand. And that's why we can't have no reservations whatsoever, okay? So it says here, right? These words are underlined in my book. They are true for men and women, right? Alcoholics. On many occasions, I've turned to this page and reflected on this passage. I need never fool myself by recalling my sometimes differing drinking patterns or by believing I am cured. Do you hear that? No, we are not cured, huh? We are not cured of this physical ailment. We can only be cured spiritually, huh? And that's through this spiritual program called Alcoholics Anonymous, right? And he says here, I like to think that if sobriety is God's gift to me, then my sober life is my gift to God. I hope God is as happy with his gift as I am with mine. So in closing, let me share with you very quickly the reason why I attend Alcoholics Anonymous meetings is because the first drug, or the second, because cigarette was the first, but the first drug I was introduced to was alcohol. I never did like alcohol, right? I'm an energetic, hyper, person, right? And alcohol was the gateway to other drugs, whether y'all believe it or not, but I know I believe it, okay? And so the reality of it is, because of that, I know that I have to be honest about who I am. And so that means, right, when I first came into recovery, I had reservations. I came into recovery for alcohol, right? No, I came into treatment for crack. I'm not an alcoholic, but every time I left rehab and celebrated my recovery from crack, I drank alcohol. Alcohol led me back to crack. Okay, so I don't have that much time, and I just want to let you know when it says, no reservations whatsoever. But the most important thing I want to share with you, when I hollered out to God to take me out this life or show me a better way underneath that parked car, that was my knee-bound experience. And that's when, in hindsight, God removed the obsession and compulsion from me. Because from that day of February the 23rd, I have not looked back since. And so sobriety was my gift from God. And he says, there's only two things I want you to do is to stay sober and help another alcoholic achieve sobriety. That's all you got to do. That's your gift back to me. If you can do that, I'm happy. And guess what? I'm happy too. All right, I got to go, y'all. I love you. If you need some help, please call me. Happy birthday to my mama. And if nobody told you they love you today, I love you. You love me. We are one big family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too? Wear the mask, social distancing, get tested, wash your hands, get vaccinated, right? Do what you can do and don't have no reservations whatsoever. Make a reservation with God in the 12-step spiritual programs. To God be the glory. I love you. Goodbye.